The PlayStation 2 was an outstanding console in North America and even pretty darn good in Europe. But did you know there are plenty of games that never left Japan? Well, today, I take a look at them. I am the Game Collector, and this is Second Opinion Games, and today I show you some Japanese PlayStation 2 exclusives.
Second Opinion Games.
Shining Dragon is one of those girl fighter type of games. You know, the ones where you can pick from a bunch of different beautiful women. At least they would be beautiful if their heads weren't completely deformed. And then you beat up a bunch of other schoolgirls or even schoolboys, and then go on to a one-on-one fight with your enemy, all with a little bit of weird Japanese storyline to throw it all together. Is this a must-play? Definitely not. But is it a lot of fun? Well, it can be, depends on what you really are into. If you're into weird Japanese schoolgirls beating each other off, well, then this is your jam. I like a little bit more war with my action, and that's where Metal Slug 3D comes into play. I love the 2D Metal Slug games just like I love 2D Contra games. And Contra, when it made its jump to 3D with overhead views and weird stuff going on, it kinda sucked. With Metal Slug, they did it right in a great third-person mode, where instead of using that second analog stick all the time, you could just lock onto targets and mow them down. You still have all of your big heavy weapons like the shotgun and missile launcher and heavy machine gun to bring down your evil opponents, and you still have the grenades themselves. But this time you have to explore to look for different power-ups that can then power up your tanks that you like to drive around and blow more stuff up. This is a terrific game, and you don't need to know Japanese to play it because the whole storyline is done in English with full voice acting. I absolutely love this about the game, and it makes it totally playable. Quite frankly, I'm not even sure if it came out in other regions, and I don't know how to use Google to look it up. Still need more shooting? Well, check out Virtual Cop Rebirth, the first two games in the series put on one disc only in Japan. Because in Europe they called it the Elite Edition, but I couldn't get it to work on my TV because the whole weird TVs running at different hertz things for a light gun game really doesn't work out. So you gotta play the Japanese version. And when I tried to play it, I still couldn't get it to work, so I just recorded the Dreamcast version here. I gotta say, it's not very much different, I guarantee that. It's a terrific light gun shooter, and if you have a good light gun, well then you're gonna be able to ace your way through this entire game really quite easily, and it's an absolute blast to play. But shooting can be done with something other than a gun, and that's where Geeka Boy comes into play. Well, this is a photography game where you are a side-scrolling boy with a camera and you have to take pictures of certain events. If you run out of film, well, it's game over for you. So you're gonna wanna take really interesting shots, which might give you film, might give you power-ups, and you also have to watch out because things are also trying to kill you, and the only way to stop it is by taking a picture of it. Imagine if a baseball was thrown at your face, and after you snapped a picture of it with your camera, the baseball disappeared. That's the logic that's going on here. But why I love playing this game is that there is so much weird and interesting stuff going on all around you. I could not wait to see what's around the corner and to see what's next, because oh my god, it's just crazy. Godzilla could appear, and then he could like put on a cape and dance around, or he could just eat a bunch of people. You could have UFOs flying by and then giving you a hot dog. It's just all weird, out of the blue stuff, and that's what I love about this game. Because Japan, if anything, it's classic. Super Galactic Hour is a game show where you take two beautiful girls and then you make them showdown by jumping rope, or maybe hitting each other in the face with pies, or, you know, screwing stuff. That's something that happens in this game. And if you happen to win all of your butt-bouncing challenges, well then you could shoot your opponent out of a cannon. This is a very strange game, and the more you play it, you could also unlock different costumes for your girls, like, you know, clothes, or less clothes to wear, so to speak. It sort of reminds me of Party Girls that only was released in Europe, and sadly we didn't get this one either. Boy, Japan, you are really into some weird stuff. but how weird. Love Smash! Oh crap, oh no, please don't. Oh, okay, it's just a tennis game. You can pick from 4 different guys or 4 different girls. You even have that guy from Virtual Fighter here. I guess we might as well have him in there. And I found this game to be ridiculously difficult. To be fair, I am playing as a girl against a guy opponent, so maybe that increases the difficulty, you know, like it would be in real life. And sometimes it's darn near impossible to return any serves whatsoever, let alone when you get into a volley. And then once your power-up meter gets full, you could unleash a devastating attack if you manage to actually hit the ball with your devastating attack, and then you definitely can't hit that, making it the ultimate win button in a game of tennis. I really don't like this one as much as I should, but maybe that's me for not liking tennis that much. Now I want to play something a little bit more manly, and the most manly thing I could possibly think about is Mad Max. So let's take a look at the Road Warrior 2050. Not officially a Mad Max game, but let's just say this is pretty Mad Max-esque. You get to drive a really cool black car as you run over people with motorcycles, and you're constantly being chased. Later, you could unlock other weapons like a pistol and a shotgun, and even an Uzi, and mow down your foes. There's also boss battles here, like against a giant truck, and it's not just all on the road, because sometimes you actually have to get out of your car in order to take out some evil bikers and tough guys like that. Now, the game's not perfect. There's a lot of very repetitive parts, and everything seems to be copied and pasted on top of each other. And there is a slight language barrier here, which if you F around, you're sure to find out how to overcome it, and then you can eventually finish this game. And we absolutely should have gotten this because I think it's a heck of a lot of fun, even if I have no idea what the heck I'm doing or why I should be doing it. I think it has something to do with the girl that might be in the hospital, and maybe you're trying to get her a lung or kidney or something. Other games I don't fully understand is Simple Series 2000 Volume 113. Actually, most of the games I talked about today are from the Simple Series, which are all budget titles. And this one, I'm just calling it by that because I don't know what it's actually called. It seems to be a horror game where you play as a girl and she runs really awkwardly through her school. Eventually you come across a rabbit in a top hat, which might make you think that this is an Alice in Wonderland thing, and he jumps into a portal, and of course you have to follow him, and then you run in some bees and immediately die. I don't recommend anyone actually jumps in and tries to play this game unless you know Japanese, because the language barrier was just something I could never overcome. Unlike our last game, the maid uniform and the machine gun, which somebody actually did a translation of, which is why I can play this today. Because trust me here, guys, you're gonna wanna do so, because where else do you have a maid that runs around with a machine gun? And a katana if you want to save some ammo. You also have a special weapon, which you could whip out a giant sniper rifle that doesn't seem to do that much more damage than your machine gun itself. Of course, you can power up these weapons over time, and you're going to have to if you're going to beat some of these really hard boss battles. You can also do a bunch of flippy flips all over the place, and I'm telling you what, I'm really digging this game. Especially, you know, the sniper parts. I always love that in video games, and even though it doesn't feel perfect, it does feel pretty darn good. I actually like the whole weirdo concept of melding a whole lot of stuff that doesn't make sense together, and this one is Japanese glory through and through. Now, I can say it's pretty darn sad that most of these games didn't come out in America, and if they did, they weren't gonna be a splash hit or anything. But the more games, the better, and I feel like we missed out on something really special with these really weird games. But of course, that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching.
Round 3. Ready? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I had a great time making it because I like to see the really weird stuff that was, you know, in Japan, or just weird stuff in general. So coming up in a future video, I'm going to show you some of my best favorite games from both here, America, maybe even Japan and Europe. and I'm gonna shove them all in one video, and they're generally not gonna be the really common stuff that everyone else talks about. So I'd love for you guys to leave me a message of your favorite weird game down in the comment box down below, and until later, I will see you again, guys.